Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the annual 2022 Golden Hoosier Award ceremony. My name is Leslie Huckleberry, Director of the Indiana Division of Aging. It is my great honor to be here with all of you today and introduce each one of you as this year's Golden Hoosier Award recipients. Now, don't forget, right after this ceremony, we will need all of this year's award recipients to gather up here for a group photo. Also, the AARP virtual reality room is available for tour. It's just down the hall on your right, and I promise this is a worthy visit before you leave today. I would like to take a moment to thank our young Hoosier harp trio, Martin, Erica, and Zella Williamson from Greenwood. They were spectacular. Also, a special thanks to all of the volunteers who have helped to make this year's Golden Hoosier Award ceremony possible. Thank you all. And a great big thank you to the Indiana Historical Society for sharing this wonderful venue with us for our special celebration today. I would like to introduce you to Amy Lamb, Vice President of Marketing and Sales of the Indiana Historical Society, to say a few words about this impressive location we are in.
6 foot tall. There we go. Again, my name is Amy Lamb, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Gene and Marilyn Glick Indiana History Center today. We are honored to host the Golden Hoosier Awards. For those of you who aren't familiar with IHS, we are a private nonprofit institution that serves as a steward and a storyteller of Indiana's history. This has been another year of great forward motion for IHS. We've launched an online exhibits platform that's brand new, and we've also built a studio to create video content that will reach audiences near and far. We're partnering with Ted Green Films to tell captivating stories like that of Hoosier, Major League Baseball star and human rights advocate Carl Erskine, which has already debuted and will be at Heartland Film Festival this fall, and then on PBS stations across the country later this season. I hope you will have time today after the program to visit and learn more about Eva Kaur, who is a Holocaust survivor and education advocate, through 2 of our exhibits. In Eva Kaur from Auschwitz to Indiana, you can learn about her life's journey through images, videos, and artifacts, and put on a virtual reality headset so that she can actually give you a tour of Auschwitz. In USC Shoah Foundation's Dimensions and Testimony, which is a collaboration with our friends at Candle's Holocaust Museum and Education Center in Terre Haute, you are invited to ask questions and receive real-time responses from Eva via a hologram sitting right across from you. We'd also love for you to come back for a future visit so you can explore the building when the entire space is open. We have our Documents That Shaped America with a 1350 edition of the Magna Carta, early printings of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And perhaps you'll be able to come back this holiday season with our Festival of Trees and get into your own holiday spirit. Also, do want to invite you, in addition to the Eva Kaur exhibits, our library staff is going to be up on the 2nd floor. It's immediately behind me. They would love to show you some pieces from our collection and teach you more about how to access more than 8 million items that we have at the public's disposal. We do deal in the past, but we also have our hands in the present and our eyes on the future. We don't lock history away in a vault. We want to make it accessible and open to the public. Bringing the lessons of the past to the forefront has never been more important, as those can be tools for understanding, informed decision-making, and positive change. So to all of the award winners today, as well as those who support and celebrate them, thank you for being part of that positive change. We are so glad that your stories of commitment, of lifetimes of service to your communities are being added to Hoosier history. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for your contributions to the state and its people, and have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Amy. Linda Duno is AARP Indiana's state president, the organization's lead volunteer. Duno led AARP Indiana's Fort Wayne team for 6 years and received the organization's top volunteer honor, the Andrus Award for Community Service, in 2016. During Duno's tenure, tenure, the city of Fort Wayne joined the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities, a feat made possible by her tireless advocacy and community organizing prowess. Additionally, she championed a complete streets resolution that was adopted by the Fort Wayne City Council. Prior to retiring, Linda employed her considerable leadership acumen as a 911 emergency services director in Ohio and Maine. She also was the executive director of the Van Wert Area Chamber of Commerce, making an impact in the communities of Northwest Ohio. Please welcome Linda.
Good afternoon. I am thrilled to be here and to be able to honor these volunteers, having some experience in that myself. We're proud to be part of the small part of recognizing the incredible volunteers that are being recognized today. As a volunteer myself, I'm proud to say that volunteering was at the heart of AARP when our founder, Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus, founded our organization in 1958 and adapted the motto to serve, not to be served. Volunteers remain the heart of AARP to this day. It's also ingrained in the fabric of America. The stories of neighbors helping neighbors in times of need, from barn raisings to preparing meals, ring from the pages of almost every one of us family histories. Every town and city in this great and diverse country, and Indiana is no different. I think we would all agree that here in the Hoosier State, we take our volunteering seriously. We understand that perhaps more than ever before, we're turning to volunteer services to help meet the ever-growing needs of our state and our communities, whether it's stocking food pantries or ensuring that someone in need receives critical care, and so much more. Individual acts of service and kindness ripple out across our state, and I'm here to tell you that what you've done for your communities is far greater than any one person can see or understand. As I often like to say, we gain a lot of skills during our working years, and those skills don't go away. And we need a place to put them as we're looking at retirement and after we retire. You've been the people holding the Hoosier State together through thick and thin. You are the people that make it a warm, caring place to live. Thank you for being shining examples for Hoosiers of all ages. And on behalf of AARP Indiana and our members across the state, we thank you for the incredible service you provide. You truly make a difference.
Thank you, Linda. Now we have former Vice President of Government Relations for United Way of Central Indiana, Ann Valentine, serves as the Chief of Staff for Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch. Ann.
Thank you. I'm Ann Valentine with Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch's office, and I am here to extend her apologies for not being able to join you. I know that was where she wanted to be, and I'm hopeful that some of you were hoping she would be here, and I apologize that she is not able to be here today. She is on her way back from Richmond, where she attended the funeral this morning for Officer Sierra Burton. As you may know, Officer Burton is the Richmond police officer who passed away September 18th after being shot in the line of duty in August. And as much as the Lieutenant Governor wanted to be here with you today, she wanted to attend the funeral and support Officer Burton's family as well as the Richmond police officers. But she asked me to tell you how much she looks forward to this event every year and what the Golden Hoosier Award represents. It represents the best of Hoosier hospitality. The volunteer work that you do, the work that you do in your communities is what makes Indiana so special and what keeps your communities so special to each and every one of you. And so thank you for that spirit of giving back and helping others. On behalf of the Lieutenant Governor, again, our apologies that she couldn't be here today, but congratulations to those of you who are being honored. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Do you want to introduce one other individual? Kim Opsahl is our Deputy Deputy Secretary and Chief of Staff of the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration. She has a long history of serving others. She is the former director of the Division of Disability and Rehabilitation Services. Before joining FSSA, Kim served a decade as president and 3 years as the CEO of the Indiana Association of Rehabilitation Facilities, INARF. Kim will be joining Ann to present today's awards. And now for our award recipients. As I say your name, if you would make your way to the front to receive your award from Kim and Ann, please. Our first award recipient is Anthony Jesse Cerisi. Just 3 days ago, Anthony Cerisi hit a big milestone. It was his birthday. He was born right here in Indianapolis in 1922, 100 years ago. Tony was raised on McCarty Street and attended Holy Rosary Catholic Church, which is still known today for its Italian heritage. Apart from serving in France with the Army during World War II, Tony has lived in Indianapolis his entire life. He married his wife, Ruth Ann, in 1948, and they raised 8 children on the West Side. He owned a furniture store at Lafayette Road and 30th Street. One of Tony's favorite pastimes is driving around and reminiscing. He can show where he played marbles as a boy, where he rode his bike to visit his mother's grave, his favorite hangout near Garfield Park, the route he took to go to the movies in Fountain Square, or the spot where you could get the best barbecue sandwich in the world for 25 cents. He can still tell you who lived in every house in the neighborhood. The house his dad built in 1920 still stands today. Tony is a homebody who reads any history book he can find. When his doctors ask him how he's lived to be 100 years old and in such good health, his response is simply home cooking and hard work. Tony is proud of his family, his wife who died in 2018, 8 children, 19 grandchildren, and 19 great-grandchildren. He is most proud that all his children graduated from college. He likes to brag about teaching his great-grandkids marbles and enjoying his mother's recipe for spaghetti and meatballs. Tony is proud to be an Indianapolis resident for the past century. He will tell you that he feels like the luckiest man in the world and has no regrets in life. Congratulations, Tony.
Dad's school, 597 North Capitol, when I went there as a 20-year-old.
Oh my goodness.
As a student value, and then went on to.
That's amazing. Very cool. Thank you so much for sharing.
Genoma Babcock has been dedicated to supporting literacy at Cool Spring Elementary School for more than 46 years. She is a full-time volunteer with a love of reading and a joy for service. She has been instrumental in ensuring the library continues to serve all students at the school, even through the pandemic and a staff shortage. She motivates young readers with enthusiasm, creates and manages displays, and has a special bond with the hundreds of students that cross her path each day. She passionately reads to the younger students and joyfully works with older students on literacy skills. She shelves hundreds of books each week and frequently collaborates with teachers to help support their instruction. Genoma also plans and prepares the annual St. Luke's Lutheran Church 13.5 hours meal for local first responders of LaPorte County. She plans St. Luke's Vacation Bible School every summer, is a former volunteer of the Michigan City Salvation Army, and was a Boy Scout troop leader for 13 years. Genoma is an amazing example of how her generation can so effectively help a new generation through love and mutual respect.
I do volunteer in an elementary school library, but I want to tell you about Carol. Carol volunteered for several years with me. And part of the time she wore a wig because she was losing her hair due to her medical treatments. But it was important for her to be in the library. I want to tell you about Karen. Karen was a young single mom with a son in second grade. She had a full-time job and she took classes at PNW in the evening. She still found time to volunteer in the library for 2 times a month. And I want to tell you about Rosemary. Rosemary had 3 children at Cool Spring School and a 1-year-old at home. And she paid a sitter to sit with her 1-year-old so she could volunteer at school. And lastly, I want to tell you about Connie. When Connie retired from nursing, she became a full-time volunteer. She insisted on coming in on the busiest day. She worked 1 full day every week for over 8 years. And when Connie had her left knee replaced, she sat at our work table and mended books. And when she had her right knee replaced, she sat at the circulation desk and checked out books. And when she had her right hip replaced, she was there on the busiest day of the week. These are women who didn't find time to volunteer. They made time to volunteer, and they have always been my inspiration. And I am thrilled today to have an opportunity to honor them. Thank you very much.
Gary Cheeseman has long been recognized in the community of West Point as a businessman, but also has served as chief of the West Point Volunteer Fire Department in Wayne Township, having first joined the department when he was just 18. He is also a volunteer emergency medical technician and has helped to ensure that his community has maintained an ambulance service. By responding to emergency medical calls outside of the township during the COVID-19 pandemic, Gary was instrumental in safeguarding backup emergency service for Tippecanoe County. He is on call 24/7 for emergencies, often leaving his business to respond. During a house fire in West Point, he was standing near a fire truck when an ammunition cap exploded. A piece hit his eye, causing permanent issues with his vision. Undaunted, Gary enthusiastically continues to volunteer for the fire department. Gary also supports West Point Community Park, offering his expertise and equipment at no cost for a variety of park improvement projects. The president of the West Point Park Fund affirms that they would not have been able to meet their objectives without his assistance, calculating that the work he provided is worth over $50,000. Gary also serves as the president of the West Point Cemetery Association. It has been Gary's goal to preserve the idyllic small town life in West Point while helping the community grow. Gary could not be with us here today, but we congratulate him. Leonard Collins. Evansville residents affectionately refer to Leonard Collins as mayor of the 4th Ward. He is an advocate committed to neighborhood development. He is a servant leader with an amazing ability to connect people to resources and get things done. Leonard is always sure to bring great energy and insight into community conversations. When he speaks, people want to listen. As a representative of neighborhoods in the 4th Ward of Evansville, Leonard is dedicated to helping neighborhoods and the people that live there thrive. He communicates the needs of the people and offers solutions. His knowledge of local initiatives is essential to bridging gaps between individuals and organizations to achieve common goals. For over a decade, Leonard has served as a commissioner for Evansville Commission on the Social Status of African American Males, to address the needs of African American men in the community. One such program is the Black Barbershop Health Initiative, an annual event designed to give men and boys the opportunity to get basic health screenings and access to healthcare resources. This event brings awareness to health disparities among African American men. Leonard's work with the Southern Indiana Mentoring Academy has made a tremendous impact on local youth. He was one of the original thought leaders of SIMA, the purpose of which is to empower at-risk youth to make positive life choices and maximize their potential. Leonard assists with organizing activities and mentor recruitment. Leonard can often be heard saying, "All I need is 2 people and I can get something going." It seems that all the city of Evansville needs is Leonard Collins. Joyce Conway. On a typical day, you can find John and Joyce Conway at the Whosoever thrift store, unloading donations, sorting, cleaning, stocking shelves, listening to and praying with customers. The work is endless in this ministry, but although they're in their late 70s, they plow through and keep smiling. This little thrift store has been able to help many people with disabilities. Just in the past few years, they have donated 4 handicapped accessible vehicles, built nearly a dozen wheelchair ramps, and given away more than 10 tons of clothing. Joyce has partnered with other missions in the community to get clothing to those in need. Together, the Conways have volunteered over 10,000 hours at the store. Before working the thrift store, Joyce and John worked with multiple organizations, including a mobile food bank in Centerville. John fell and broke his hip, but that did not keep this dynamic duo down. He had to take some time to heal, but as soon as he was able, he was back to serving his community. John and Joyce are always willing to give, work, and sacrifice for others in Fountain City every day. Lena Cottingham. With a servant's heart and a love for family, Lena Cottingham is always there to give a helping hand. Before her retirement, Lena was the Nutrition Education Program Assistant for 3 counties. Her outreach to area schools and neighboring counties educated the public on food safety and preparation and healthy choices. Now she continues to use her nutritional expertise to benefit the disadvantaged in her community. Lena worked with the Pine Village Methodist Church to start a food pantry in Pine Village. Several years later, the church and Lena recognized the need for a county food cooperative and worked with other pantries to establish one in central Warren County. A Better Way Food Co-op opened in Williamsport in 2017. This is a faith-based organization that offers membership to people in Warren County with limited income. Its goal is to empower them to use their abilities to provide for their families, choose what assistance their family needs, and build relationships. Lena has helped with every task at A Better Way: soliciting donations, loading and unloading supplies, stocking shelves, running the office, recruiting volunteers, and filling out tax forms. She has recently stepped away from being as active to let the next generation carry on her work. As a junior leader and food project superintendent, Lena has also loaned her talents to the Warren County 4-H for 18 years. She organized other volunteers at the fairgrounds, guided 4-H fair projects, and taught kids to prepare nutritious meals. Lena has helped so many children to have the confidence in themselves to be useful members of the community. Lena is always there when you least expect her, usually when she is most needed. Romaine DeLuccio. At 90 years young, Romaine DeLuccio regularly goes above and beyond to assist others. Romaine has given 41 years of service with Reed Health Richmond Hospital. She has served on the Reed Health Auxiliary Board, which raises money year-round for the Reed Health Foundation. The money is used to support patient care at Reed Health, including equipment needs. She was the president and Ways and Means Chair for several terms. She played a big part in planning the new inpatient hospital facility, which opened its doors in 2008. When the hospital moved to the new building, she spearheaded an auction of the old hospital's memorabilia. Before the hospital's library went digital, Romaine served as a librarian assistant. She was an invaluable asset, helping physicians organize and prepare critical medical information for their patients and colleagues. She also volunteered for the Reed Meals on Wheels program each week to citizens who were not able to leave their home. An expert seamstress, Romaine made almost 500 tiny pinky puppets for hospitalized children. She also created blankets, caps, and hats for premature babies and cancer patients. She was the lead coordinator of the Make a Doll fundraisers, which gave children dolls that were made in their image. Romaine donated over 5,000 handmade items to Birthright, an organization that provides counseling and resources for unplanned pregnancies and new families. She was also a founding member and leader of the Historical Construction Equipment Association, a nonprofit dedicated to preserving the history of the construction, dredging, and mining equipment industries. Romaine DeLuccio has never been content to just watch from the sidelines. She is happiest when actively contributing. Romaine is an exceptional example of what it means to serve.
Thank you. I just feel so blessed to be able to help others.
Mary Gardner. Mary Gardner's personal and work life has centered around service to others. She currently works part-time as a senior program coordinator for Purdue University, creating educational programming for area seniors. She has been a volunteer with the Benton County Girl Scouts of America and the 4-H programs of Benton and White counties. She was the originator of a preschool story hour at the Fowler Public Library. She is an active member of Fowler United Methodist Church, spearheading clothing drives and participating in many other events. For more than 60 years, Mary has volunteered with the Omicron chapter of Tri Kappa, a service sorority located only in Indiana. She volunteered at the Pioneer Village at the Indiana State Fair, where she cooked meals over a hot oven for other village volunteers. Prior to the 1989 opening of Subaru in Lafayette, Mary created a Japanese festival for the community to foster greater understanding of Japanese culture. Mary has coordinated countless American Red Cross blood drives in her community for a quarter of a century. She has baked cookies and provided snacks for the donors, and even kept her own handwritten records of blood donations for county residents. Mary greeted donors at each blood drive, making them feel welcome and appreciated. The Benton County Area Agency on Aging was also grateful to have had her on their team. At the young age of 96, Mary is a true role model for all of us, inspiring us to recognize the good within and share it with others. Nancy Gleim has been a lifelong volunteer for many different organizations. She brings warmth, compassion, and empathy to whatever she does. Nancy is always one of the first people to say yes when asked to help. She is a very active member of the First United Methodist Church in Middlebury, has served on the Middlebury Chamber of Commerce, was secretary of the Home Economics Club of Elkhart County, and was a department chair of the Elkhart County 4-H Fair. Nancy and her husband Rex suffered a tragic loss in 1992 with the death of their 20-year-old son, Ryan. The Gleims took the anguish that they felt and used it to help other grieving families. For 18 years, Nancy was the leader of the Goshen chapter of the Compassionate Friends, where she led support groups for grieving parents and grandparents. But Nancy saw that there was a real gap in services for children who are grieving. So when she retired from teaching, she and her husband decided to start a new nonprofit for Ryan's Place. This center works with bereaved children and families as they face life without their loved one. Over the years, Nancy has tirelessly promoted the mission of Ryan's Place, but her most important effort has been as a trained facilitator for parents who have lost a child. Since opening its doors in 2001, Ryan's Place has helped over 17,000 people in Northern Indiana begin to heal. Quiet and unassuming, Nancy gives of herself and expects nothing in return. She does not seek accolades, but makes sure that she shines her light on others. Retired educator Judith Gumbel is Pike County's go-to person for knowledge, encouragement, and inspiration. A trailblazer, Judy was the second female principal in a Hoosier secondary school. Judy currently serves as county auditor and sits on many community boards. For more than 25 years, she has volunteered with the Pike County 4-H Club, where she has served in many offices and committees and is now the fundraising chair. Her leadership brought the 4-H Fair back from the brink of ending several years ago. The fair, in turn, provides the funds for 4-H youth programming, scholarships, camps, and other opportunities. No child is left out of Pike County 4-H for their inability to afford it. In Judy's 20-plus years of service with the Pike County Farm Bureau, she has helped shape policy changes that are needed in this state. From invasive plant species to school bus safety, she has helped develop policies that have resulted in a safer, healthier Indiana. Her Ag in the Classroom program teaches elementary students how and where their food is grown. Judy was instrumental in the creation of Leadership Pike County, which nominates youth to participate in an intensive education in local and state government. At the conclusion of the year, each class is challenged to initiate a community project. So far, with Judy as their advisor, students have completed a new dog park and have several other projects in the works. Judy is accomplishing her goals to leave this world a little better than she found it and to inspire others to achieve more than they thought possible of themselves. Dave Heist. Although he prefers not to be in the spotlight, Dave Heist continues to embrace serving his community in ways that will have a lasting impact for generations to come. Dave serves on the board of Waypoint Wabash, a safe, structured, and stable environment for women recovering from substance use and abuse. He recently led a capital campaign that raised $600,000 for his nonprofit. As a member of the board of Indiana Landmarks, Dave was also instrumental in helping purchase a second Empire-style house in Wabash as the future home of Waypoint. Dave's strategic guidance and oversight while serving on numerous committees throughout the years has helped shape the progress of Honeywell Foundation, providing live concerts, visual art programs, family festivals, and recreational events to Wabash. The foundation impacts hundreds of thousands of guests each year by inspiring all ages through the arts. Dave also volunteered for Parkview Health, a nonprofit community-based health system serving Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio. Dave helped foster several projects, including the integration of 3 additional hospitals: Parkview Regional Medical Center, Parkview Cancer Institute, and the Miro Center for Research and Innovation. He has served for over 30 years on the Manchester University Board of Trustees. Dave is an influential leader with extraordinary visions for his town. His ability to bring organizations and individuals together to benefit the overall community is unmatched. Noting that his accomplishments are too long to list, Wabash Mayor Scott Long declares, Dave Heiss has been a tremendous asset to the community. Navy veteran Conrad R. Bob Hoffman's favorite saying is, "For God and country." He has served his country in his distinguished military career. Now he volunteers wherever he is needed in his community. With a passion for helping others, Bob is currently serving as chaplain for American Legion Post 464 and the 9th District Chaplain for 13 counties. He regularly works on projects for the American Legion at post, district, and state levels, including the American Legion Department of Indiana co-chair for religious emphasis. He is also active in the 40 and 8, an honor society of American veterans, and served as a post commander. Membership is by invitation and open only to honorably discharged veterans and honorably serving members of the United States Armed Forces. Bob has led several charitable endeavors, including programs that promote child welfare and nurses training. Bob has helped raise thousands of dollars for nursing students, volunteered during natural disasters, and extinguished fires with the Batesville Volunteer Fire Department. He is the kind of person you will find shoveling snow from a neighbor's driveway or just lending a hand to anyone in need. This is what makes Bob Hoffman a hero in his community. Becky Kendall has a lifetime of service through personal advocacy, as well as many volunteer commitments and board service. She has served on the Indianapolis Community Foundation Board, volunteered in preschools, sports activities, schools, and community events. She volunteers in many roles for her church and served the poor and homeless in her community, helping them access basic medical care. Becky is a founding board member of Women for Change Indiana, which is a nonpartisan organization pledged to educate, equip, and mobilize Hoosiers to create positive change for women. Their mission is to advocate for the leadership, health, safety, and dignity of women in Indiana. In 2020, Becky initiated a statewide voter outreach effort. Becky volunteered for over 10 years as a pharmacy assistant for Good News Ministries Health Clinic in Indianapolis, serving the homeless and the working poor who did not have reliable access to basic medical care. She has also been a rocker grandma, offering gentle care to babies in the neonatal intensive care unit at Community Hospital East. Becky is dedicated to community service. She is active in her faith, supporting others with her time, talent, and treasure. She is an inspiration. Dan McCain. For the past 35 years, through hard work and example, Dan McCain has rallied his small community of Delphi to do great things. Dan is proud of Delphi and Carroll County's heritage. His spirit of historic preservation has become a hallmark of Delphi's culture. He served 22 years as president of Carroll County Wabash and Erie Canal Association and had been a volunteer for 15 years prior to that. The city of Delphi hosts a 3-mile section of the famed Wabash and Erie Canal, the longest man-made waterway ever built in the United States. The Canal Association continues to find and preserve artifacts, acquire new lands, and develop education, recreation, and preservation programs. Under Dan's presidency, the association developed miles of beautiful trails, created a fabulous local park, and brought new life to old buildings and bridges. Now thousands of people get to enjoy these cultural gifts every year. Dan has given the entire town something to work towards, never asking for recognition along the way. He has been a shining example of what Hoosiers can accomplish when we join in a common mission.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled by all this too. And I think 2 pints of my blood, I have canal water in it because 2 times I've lived next to the canal. But my most important part was when I was born in the house that I live in today, next to the canal on the property. And for me, when I was a little boy, I would go back there and it was a trashy area. It was not a pretty spot at all. And I would have so much curiosity about it. So I started asking my grandfather more about it. He was born the year the canal had ceased to operate. So I learned a little bit, but it took a long time to really get the canal fully in my mind and how it operated. But later when I lived in Fort Wayne, and I also lived along the canal up there east of Fort Wayne, and it kind of brought us together in terms of all the curiosity that I had. So I came back home again. Now I live in the house where I was born. So I've come back and I've worked with people, and I'm humbled because it isn't just me. There's certainly every one of us as volunteers know that it's a whole cadre of volunteers that makes this possible. So I'm very much honored and thank you for the award.
Tom Roberts knows not all heroes wear capes. In fact, many wear leashes. Tom, as director of Therapy Dogs International Chapter 267 in Lafayette, believes that man's best friend can provide comfort even in the most harrowing moments. Therapy Dogs International is a volunteer group organized to provide qualified handlers and their therapy dogs for visits to institutions, schools, courtrooms, and any other place where they are needed. Chapter number 267 was established in 2013, with Tom serving as the first chapter director. Tom and his team oversee the regulation, testing, and registration of the dogs and their handlers. In 2019, a new state law allowed therapy dogs in Indiana courtrooms. The Tippecanoe County Prosecutor's Office took up Tom's offer to have volunteers bring their trained dogs to county-owned buildings to help calm anyone dealing with the stress of the criminal legal system, especially children. Since then, Tom has worked with and assisted hundreds of people and is at the courthouse on a weekly basis. The Tippecanoe County Prosecutor's Office has also presented Tom with the Justice Award, normally reserved for police officers. The work the handlers and their therapy dogs do in comforting victims of crime is remarkable. So is Tom's dedication. Elizabeth Sanders, known to most as Liz, is well known for her volunteerism and leadership skills. Her accomplishments are many and her devotion to her community is strong. At historic forks of the Wabash in Huntington, Liz has served as a volunteer interpreter, docent, and tour guide. This historic park aims to interpret the cultural history of Indiana in the 1840s, an uneasy era when the first permanent white settlers were beginning to arrive in a land still occupied by Native Americans. Liz has been chairperson of their major fundraiser, which provides historic tours of the Forks of Wabash for over 4,000 school children. Liz is serving as a board member and fundraiser for Parkview Huntington Hospital Foundation and volunteers at the hospital. She coordinates Trinity United Methodist Church's Thanksgiving banquet, which is offered free of charge to over 500 individuals annually. Liz, a former caterer, uses her culinary talent to ensure that this meal is of the highest quality. She volunteers with the Huntington Main Street Development and Beautification Program and has been president of the local philanthropic educational organization chapter for 3 years. Liz Sanders is a true giver. She thrives on volunteering and doing her part to make a positive difference. She is not someone who says no. She is the one who always asks, "How can I help?" Martha Shea has a passion for preserving history for future generations to enjoy. As president of the Franklin County Historical Society, Martha has had a major role in collecting and disseminating the rich history of her community. Each of the 3 historical buildings the society manages are filled with treasures from the past, but the work required to maintain these artifacts is considerable. She leads the monthly meetings, heads fundraising efforts, organizes public history programs, coordinates maintenance work, and participates in routine cleaning of the buildings. She is also a past regent for the local Daughters of the American Revolution. Martha is a strong, detail-driven, and tireless leader. While others may enjoy studying history, Martha actively preserves it through hard work and many hours.
I forgot to tell my friend that I also helped with the groundbreaking of this building in 1999.
Carol Smith has been a shining example in her community for more than 50 years. Her unwavering desire is to make a difference and bring joy to others, while finding joy in all she does. During her half-century membership in the Asbury United Methodist Church in Portland, Carol has organized numerous programs to benefit all residents of Jay County. For 31 years, she has led the free Community Thanksgiving Dinner, an event she founded. Carol organizes the volunteers, ensures that turkeys are purchased and prepared, and schedules deliveries for shut-ins. She also created a back-to-school program and the Giving Christmas Tree to help underprivileged children. Carol became a volunteer at Lifestream Services in March 2020, just at the onset of the pandemic. She enlisted the help of her fellow church members and dove right in. Carol launched a hugely successful drive-through food distribution for seniors, always keeping in mind how to keep everyone safe. As Carol said, the people that come to get something actually give us something, as it is a joy to be with them. Peg Spindler, a Catholic nun of the Congregation of Sisters of St. Agnes, is simply known as Sister Peg throughout northern Indiana. She has dedicated her life to serving the most neglected members of the community. Sister Peg found her calling at a young age growing up in Cedar Lake. She became a religious sister in 1966, then embarked on her career as an educator. In the 1980s, she volunteered for the board of Lake Interfaith Families Together, a community organizing group working for improved housing and better neighborhoods. This began her move from teaching to social service. In 1997, Sister Peg, with the support of the Poor Housemaids of Jesus Christ, opened the doors to Sojourner Truth House in Gary. This shelter serves homeless, underserved, and at-risk women and their children with the goal of providing them the tools and resources needed to improve their quality of life. She spent her first 5 years there as a volunteer, then served as its executive director for 19 years. She retired as executive director last year, but still volunteers there 5 hours a week. Sister Peg volunteered for the Northwest Indiana Continuum of Care, which provides wraparound support for the homeless and vulnerable, helping them find more shelter space. She plans to continue advocating for the homeless and is supporting the launch of a Lake County Homeless Trust Fund. She also joins with her community of sisters to combat the harmful effects of climate change on the most vulnerable. For her lifetime of leadership and tireless dedication to the community, Sister Peg is worthy of our utmost gratitude and appreciation. Sarah Sally Wilhelm's motto is, "Put your heart and mind into what you want to do, and you will accomplish your goals." Her goal has always been to serve children, veterans, and her whole community. Sally has helped shape the lives of countless kids she taught in the Batesville schools. She has also been able to have an impact on the region through her work with the Batesville Ladies Auxiliary, Eagles Auxiliary, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and the American Legion. She has served as state president of the American Legion unit and has held the presidency of the local American Legion post for over 20 years. She has spent time visiting veterans and selling poppies to raise money for their support. Sally has given 46 years of service with the Fraternal Order of Eagles Ladies Auxiliary 1130. She was president for 14 years and retains the office of Madam Trustee. She ran the Ladies Auxiliary Kitchen for 17 years to help raise funds that are donated back to the community. Sally Wilhelm is selfless in everything she does. She asks for no recognition, but still goes above and beyond for others. Marjorie Willer loves helping people and being involved in her community. Although she has had to slow down somewhat this year, her passion for selfless service has left an enduring legacy. Marge retired from Decatur County Memorial Hospital in Greensburg at age 81 in 2011, after serving more than 30 years as Director of Nursing, Vice President of Patient Care, and Vice President of Compliance and Quality. But right away, she got involved in numerous volunteer activities. Marge volunteered for Southeastern Indiana Voices for Children as a court-appointed special advocate. Voices for Children's mission is to advocate for abused and neglected children in Ripley County. She visited 2 times a month with children, attended court hearings, wrote reports, and made recommendations. She also tutored children as a reading volunteer at Batesville Primary School until the pandemic shut down this volunteer activity. As a health volunteer for Margaret Mary Health in Batesville, Marge offered her expertise on Medicare, quality of care, and other health-related information. MMH presented her with their Outstanding Volunteer Award for her services. She also helped the State Health Insurance Assistance Program advise Medicare beneficiaries via one-on-one appointments, community presentations, and virtual assistance. She helped beneficiaries access cheaper medicines, enroll in financial assistance programs, and resolve Medicare appeals. Marge enjoys helping folks navigate a very complex system. Those who have had the pleasure to work with her say that Marge is committed, innovative, delightful, and always willing to go above and beyond. On behalf of Marjorie, who is unable to attend today's ceremony, the volunteer coordinator for SHIP is accepting on her behalf. Thank you.
When I told Marge that I was nominating for her this award, she told me that she was very honored, but she didn't feel deserving. So that's the true heart of Marge.
And that was our last award recipient. So what a wonderful group of volunteers we have today. It has truly been an honor for me to be here with all of you today. I can only say that you are an inspiration, and thank you for all that you do. Once again, if all recipients will join us up here by the staircase, we would like to get a group photo. And don't forget the Eva Core exhibit is open. It's just down the hall to your right. Thank you very much for coming.